brand new NEKROFILTH. That's from the upcoming split with Abigail. So it's called Fucking Hell. And fucking kicks ass. So there you go. So cool to see quite a few in here already. Zack, Carl, remember more rules. Evan, a lot of lurkers. Let's see this chat get going. I'll just be a lurker. I'll just be in the dark. Get up in the chat. No Malone. So anyway, first interview chat show I've done in a while, so it's cool. Glad Zack was available to do it. Actually done a lot of shit with Zack in Texas, which we'll talk about. Been a while now. Shit, almost 10 years, I think. So, yeah, there you go. There's a lurker right there. But, yeah, a lot of cool shit to talk about, so we'll get right to it. Right now, let's bring the man on himself. All the way from Portland?
Correct.
All right. And that's what I was going to ask you about. So I was like, damn, this dude, he started here, went there. I was like, he moves around like a fucking, like a narco guy that's like on the run, just constantly fucking moving around everywhere.
Well, I lived in Denver for 7 years, actually, but
was it really that long?
Yeah, we're just getting fucking old, man.
I guess so. Well, when I first met you were.
But yeah,
I guess you had already moved to Denver.
When I was a kid, I lived on the East Coast, and I've slowly made my way to the West Coast. And I'd really dig it here. I think Portland is a fucking awesome place to be in a band and be a fan of music. And also, the climate's mild, and there's lots of cool nature stuff to do. There's lots of water. I think Portland rules, to be frankly. I don't think I'll be going anywhere else anytime soon. I'll just say that.
Cool. So you originally from Cleveland area, or?
Yeah, I went to high school there. Like I said, when I was a little kid, I lived in the East Coast. But I lived in Cleveland through high school, so that's where I got into music and starting to see bands and stuff. And that's where the band first started. And then, yeah, we lived in Denver for a while, and I had a pretty solid lineup there. And then COVID happened, and I moved to Portland in the middle of that, and just kind of took it easy for a while and did some recording sessions with some folks. And then finally this year, kind of starting to play live again for the first time in a while. And it's been pretty fun. We've only done one show, but we'll be doing some more.
Yeah, that's I guess the first time, speaking of playing live, I mean, I first met you, I think, when we brought you down to Houston the first time. What was that? Was that 2014? When was that?
2014 in April, maybe, I think.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you the exact.
Almost positive it was early April. Like then.
I'm gonna find out exactly. This is the flyer for that show.
Oh yeah, nice.
It was April 12th.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. It was like early, like the 9th to the 15th ish, something like that.
Yeah, so, this was at Fitzgerald's, and I've talked about this show quite a bit because I don't know if you remember. Well, so the bands that played,
I remember. I definitely remember.
Hellraiser, which isn't around anymore. Hags. I don't remember who. I honestly don't even remember who that was. But Infinite Void, that was Cryptic Void's very first show.
Yeah, before they changed the name.
Yeah, I'm like, Frank, what's your band's name, dude? He's like, man, I don't know. Just write Infinite Void on there. I'm like, all right, cool. So there you go. So a little trivia for you guys. Cryptic Void was first Infinite Void for like a show.
Yep. That was a killer gig too.
Dude, that show, I mean, that's probably one of the best shows like I ever booked.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was a wild show, wasn't it? It was.
I didn't know. It was weird. Like, so what happened was it was you and 2 other people hit me up around the same time.
Yeah.
I was playing in Texas. And I was like, okay, I guess people in Texas want us to play there. So we figured something out. And yeah, I mean, Houston was by far the fucking best gig. It was like, and I didn't know what to expect. I was like, I don't know about Texas. I never played there. And I was like, I've heard good things. I mean, I played there with previous things, but never with NEKROFILTH. And I was like, I don't know what to expect. And like Houston was just and always will be one of my favorite places to play. I mean, it's just fucking, it's got a combination of everything. Cool people buy merch, people show up, they rage. It's just like everything you want in a underground gig, you know. So I hope we can come back sooner rather.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
Later.
That show, and I mentioned on here before. So upstairs, so Fitzgerald's, this venue Fitzgerald's, which has now been torn down. Unfortunately, it's no longer there.
Yeah,
a legendary venue from like the '70s. That's where the Carcass Death Pestilence show was at, where they had a big riot. But so that same night upstairs, Hellstar was playing.
Yeah, I remember we were gonna try to check it, but it didn't work.
Well, so whoever booked that Hellstar show was like, "Hey, you want to mix the shows?" I'm like, "No, I don't. You know, it's just I don't." And for a while, I was like, "Well, fuck, maybe I should have." But dude, as soon as the fucking downstairs just filled up, I was like, "Yeah, I made the right decision, man," because it was insanity, that show. I was like, "Holy shit," you know?
Yeah, Hellstar probably won a lot of money.
yeah. And I'm like, no. But yeah, San Antonio rules too. Obviously, I got some San Antonio friends in the chat. But yeah, every time HRA plays San Antonio, there was a minimum of like 2 fights. So, you know.
Yeah, San Antonio is different from Houston.
Yeah.
People show up, they buy stuff. You get a lot of XXX t-shirts. More so than Houston, I noticed. But yeah, no, San Antonio's rad. Every time we played there, people were and it's great. I mean, honestly, Texas in general is very cool.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's like, damn, I was thinking about it. Yeah, because Robert, I actually heard about NEKROFILTH from Robert, the singer of HRA. He's like, "Hey, dude, check out this fucking band. I don't know how he came across you guys." And I'm like, he's like, "Yeah, maybe we should bring him down or something." I was like, "Well, fuck, we'll find out." And that's how it happened. So I think, and then the next show we booked, it was at Mango's, where they had like the movie screen playing behind you guys or whatever. That show was pretty wild too.
That one's on. I think that one's on YouTube.
Yeah, it is. The whole show's on YouTube. Yeah, like everybody's at that show. You can see PLF Dave, like flexing in the pit and shit while he's in the pit. So Matt Hefner, everybody's in there. So what's up, John Lincoln? You probably know John Lincoln from Cleveland, maybe? Scoop?
Oh yeah, how you doing, buddy?
Yep. So speaking of that, so you started the band there, and I guess you were with. You knew all the Hell's Headbangers people and Unslaughtered guys and all that, or how did you come across those guys? Just going to shows?
The guys from NEKROFILTH?
Well, those guys, and also like people in the scene that you ended up kind of being friends with.
I see.
Like
I lived right near. Oh yeah, well, I mean, I knew Jim since I was like in high school.
Okay.
I met Jim. Jim was one of those guys. He knew everyone. He picked up on like who the new medalists and like like trying to see what's going on and like he asked me to be in Nonslaughter several times when I was way too young, and I was like, I can't do that. And then like at one point it worked out because me and Craig were in a band at the time called Crucified Mortals, and Craig was playing bass, and Sean, who was playing guitar at the time, couldn't do it anymore, didn't want to do it, and so then I started playing with them, and then NEKROFILTH was kind of like me and Craig actually, and he talked about this in his interview with you also, but
yeah,
we were supposed to do. The plan was Timmy, who is original bass player for NEKROFILTH. He is Craig's cousin, and so that's how Craig knew him. And he's like a punk drummer guy. But like, so anyway, so we were trying to do a Slayer parody band called Prayer that flipped all the lyrics to be Christian. It was Craig's idea, And I was like, that is fucking amazing. And so like I was gonna do the lead vocals and shit, and we had like I had a bunch of lyrics written. Sadly, I've lost them all. But it was his love. It's only Show No Mercy songs too. Is the other thing.
Yeah.
His Love Has No Boundaries, and Pray the Lord, and a couple. It was so long ago. 15 fucking years ago.
That's hilarious.
I had lyrics written out for about 5 songs, and we got them like pretty good, but just Craig had other stuff going on, and he just kind of stopped coming to practice. Yeah. And then I had riffs, and Timmy was like, we were jamming, and then he's like, actually, I want to play bass. This other guy can play drums. And then we just started writing. It was like completely, there was no, what I like about it, how the way it started, it's like a lot of people go like, all right, we're going to do a Finnish style Death Doom / whatever this. And then they get their folks together and they're like already like pigeonholed into something. And we just kind of just were fucking around. It was just like, and yeah, I was listening to a lot of, I don't know what I like to call, I guess it's like early death metal, but people don't really, it's not the same as old school death metal, I guess.
Right, I got you.
Like stuff before death metal and black metal were really defined, but extreme more than thrash. That's like the kind of music that I really, really love. And it has there's no it's scene or group around it really in any way. It just, all of those things kind of attach themselves to whatever other, and that's just my favorite. I love that kind of music where like, yeah, it's taking things to another level before there were rules about what it was supposed to sound like. And all the vocalists sound different. And like the riffs are crazy. And so that's kind of the kind of stuff. I was listening to a lot of Slaughter and a lot of Repulsion and like really early demo era death stuff and like Matricide and like weird shit like that. And like where it was like not, I feel like death metal really pigeonholed itself in the early 90s. And like became just like a repeat, like the Scott Burns formula kind of thing. Contributed to that. And like,
yeah, I was around. I know.
I liked a lot of those bands, but I feel like they're less unique. And I like this mid-late 80s, even early 80s bands that were just pushing things past what was the norm and going nuts with it. And that's in essence what I was not necessarily trying to capture, but that's just like what I was listening to a lot at the time. And that just stuff just came out. And those other two dudes were just like punks. So they just kind of, you know, we're going to ask me a question about drums, you said. And
yeah.
I would lead into that. I would lead into that by saying Ryan, who's the original drummer. I mean, we were young. I was like 24 or something when we started the band, and he was maybe 22. And he's like a hardcore drummer, you know, and not really someone that, he just was one of those guys who was just a rock and just could play without thinking too much about it. And he had this certain way of playing that was so crisp and simple. And he did a lot of those and like, I love that beat so much. And he kind of defined, I think his drumming is like very important to the sound. And you were asking me about like the fact that quite a few different drummers.
Yeah, you've had a few drummers, but somehow that style, it kind of sounds like the same person playing, even though it's a different person. And that's why I asked, well, did you ever play drums, or was it the fact that
I mean, I'm disabled. I'm disabled. My legs are pretty bad, so it's probably a good thing that I didn't learn drums, because then I would not, you know, I'd be fucked now. But I have a huge respect for drums, and I listen to the drums, so I understand them. So I do shit like play it like I do that, or like tap, or like, so I'm very like communicative about what I would like in the drums, but I try not to be a dictator. It's just like little things here and there. I'm like, if you did the fill like this, it's like crispy and it like hits. It's like, as opposed to like doing a super fast roll, if you're doing something that's like a little catchier, you know, like something a punk drummer would do. That's the kind of stuff. But yeah, you know,
I totally get it, because you know, you write the songs, and you kind of, when you're writing, and we're talking beforehand about how you'll write something, you kind of already have an idea of a beat, or, you know, something in your head while you're writing the riff. It's like, maybe At least that's how I work. Cause like I'm writing a riff. Well, this just could have like a a Dave Lombardo beat or something. I don't
Sure.
know. But and then we'll put them together, and I'll just come with just a basic foundation of a tune, and then kind of then obviously the drummer is going to do shit where I'm like, I didn't think of that. So that's kind of how the song develops usually.
Sure. Yeah, like one thing that I can do, but I don't like to actually do with NEKROFILTH stuff is like demo it all out, like with the drum machine or whatever. So it's like
Yeah,
written.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I really like accidents with the like Crave the Graves, the first track from Devil's Breath, for example. Like that song was gonna be kind of a throwaway track because the drumming was like that I had in my head was like pretty repetitive. But
Yeah.
then there's like a whole first part of the song that's got like the breaks like flip on what they are, and there's like a lot of interesting things going on, and then it switches real fast to another thing, and it totally makes the song like way bigger and more exciting. And it's like it was totally just we were practicing and people didn't understand what it was supposed to be, and one guy did one thing and the other guy did the other thing, and I was like, that's fucking killer. And then we like switched it around. I love that kind of stuff, like in collaboration.
Totally.
You don't like having other people's perspective and like I said, like giving a bit of a room for people to make mistakes to where like, oh, actually I see what you were trying to do, and that's actually a better change or a better. So yeah, like I like to just kind of I like to like I mean, I have like pretty solid ideas of what I want to do, but I also don't want to be a dictator and make it, because it's just if you don't have other people's input and perspective, it's gonna get stale. Oh shit, that big ass spider's back. There's a huge spider in my basement. It's like a wolf spider, I think.
Like John Lincoln says, happy accidents. I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah.
What? That spider was that big?
Yeah, dude. It's like it's got a leg span or whatever you call it, probably 2 inches, I'd say. It's probably about an inch tall. It's like a wolf spider, I think.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't want to get bit by that, but I don't know. It's down here. Right?
No. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing like being in a jam room and then just kind of working things down. It's like, whoa, wait, what'd you just do? That sounded fucking cool. Let's try that again,
Totally. Yeah, I love that.
That's the best.
I love that. Like, I don't want to say like, here's exactly what it is. Learn.
No, that's.
Like, I want to collaborate
jam with anybody. Yeah, you don't want to jam with somebody like that.
It depends on what you're trying to accomplish. But with NEKROFILTH, I'm like, this is like my main. I was saying to you before, I try not to have rules about what it is. Or that way I can like, I can add things. I can do a riff that I may not normally do, or a type of song that I might not normally do. And it's not like, oh, this doesn't work with this band or whatever. It's like this. And I can just keep the feel the same and it still works. So
yeah, totally, man. It's like I've had stuff where I bring something, I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna fucking work, and the next thing you know, it's like one of my favorite songs to play live or something. No, it's just there's nothing like it, Like you said with Crave the Grave, you're like, whatever, and then
that's like exactly. It was like, the original thing was just like the same beats with 2 riffs, and then it ended up being like, okay, these are like the intro riffs, and then we can add another one for the chorus that's a separate part, and then like come back, and it made the song so much more interesting, and that's how it ended up being like the first track, because it's like this song just kicks you in the face, and otherwise it probably would have been somewhere in the middle of the record that just was a supporting kind of tune,
Well,
I don't want to say filler.
Well, yeah. Well, I like that you actually, you care about what you're writing. You want a catchy song, because there's a lot of shit that comes out now where it's just all blast.
Yeah.
30, and then the next song is the same exact thing, and then the same exact thing. It's like, all right.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that just maybe that's what they like, and that's cool. Also, there's probably a lot of bands that like they're super ambitious, and when you want to do stuff, you got to release an album every year, or every year and a half or 2 years. And I personally, I can't. I need 5 years or 3, 2, at least 2. I mean, I don't know if you want to say like we're gonna write a full-length album, start writing now, and not really focusing on other shit, I would say it takes a long time for me. I mean, because I don't want to let just filler kind of, like, if I'm doing a full length, I want every song to be ripping. I mean, we've been around, that's why I've been around 15 years, only have 2 full lengths. But then I'll do the EPs. The EPs will let you be creative and get stuff out. And I write, I put like, original songs on those. And that's this new one that's coming out. That just came out that I have here with me. I'm very stoked on, for example.
Yeah. Let's it's this one right here. Hold on. I got a photo that I stole from this one, right?
It's this guy right here.
Yeah, let me put you solo so they can see it better.
So it's got see that us. Yeah, you can kind of see it. There's a lenticular effect directly on the vinyl. And then you got a really badass band photo. And then you got a one-sided record with a cool thing on it. So there's the music, there's the feature. Yeah. I've definitely never seen anything like this. It's hard to see on the camera, but in person it's very, very cool. And so that's our new, we recorded that in the depths of COVID when it was very, very cold and it was snowing outside. And there's nothing going on. And Dylan and I got together and made an EP, and it's finally out now.
And who released that?
This is a Dementia release.
Dementia,
Lucas is back, and he he did a couple others, but he's always just the king of very cool packaging and cool, unique record ideas. And so all the stuff is his idea. Honestly, I was just like, put it out on 7-inch, and he was like, no, I got some other ideas. I was like, okay. So he made it, but I mean, so it's, I'm very, it will be officially up on our Bandcamp tonight.
Yep.
And it's the digital and also the records. And I've also got a couple other things that I'm going to put up there, but yeah.
Hey, do you have the CDs? Do you have the CDs of that?
No, the CDs are,
okay.
We're working on that release. The CDs are going to have bonus live tracks from our tour in Japan. There's going to be some tracks from our Tokyo show, and then our tracks when we went to Korea and played in Seoul. There's going to be some live tracks on it. And then also the first 100 will come with a comic book adaptation of the release that this guy from France.
Oh shit.
This is the grand announcement. No one has announced this yet, but it is finished. This guy from France.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Listen up here, motherfuckers. This is a Jamming Out All Badass exclusive.
There we go.
Nice.
Made it official now. There we go.
So yeah, it's the CD version is gonna be rad because it's 12 minutes of music, kind of underwhelming for a CD. So we're gonna add like an hour of live tracks that sound very cool from Tokyo and from Korea. And then also, like I said, the first 100 or something are gonna come with this comic book, 16 pages. It's got 3 of the songs. It's a page of lyrics, and then the sort of title track, Narco Satanist, is fully line by line transcribed into a comic book. Every line of lyrics is its own page of artwork. It's very fucking cool. This guy from France, Coolzil PM, I guess. I don't know I'm not sure actually how he pronounces it, but that's what he goes by.
Hell yeah.
And that's his thing, is he did one for Worm Skull some years ago.
Yeah.
And then he approached me about like kind of doing a whole release. And I was like, I figured that, this would be a cool way of doing it, like picking a song to embellish and then having the other ones just giving him a page with like a border. And it's all black and white and it looks very cool. And that song, The Narco Satanist, is like, it's about this crazy ass cult from Mexico from the late 80s. There was like human sacrifices and shit.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's It's in Matamoros, the Mark Kilroy thing. Is that what you're taling about?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
fact, in the lyric sheet, you get a picture of Mr. Kilroy.
that's the infamous photo. So
Yeah.
I actually have a funny story. Ruben from Splatteria at that time, he sent a friend of his a package in the mail, and he wrote on there his return address. He wrote the name of Sarah Aldretti, the witch.
Yeah,
you know
the
what
one
I mean?
that did, because the guy killed himself, Marco Alfonso, I think.
Yeah, Adolfo Costanzo.
Adolfo, yeah, he killed
Yeah.
himself. Adolfo, and she is still in prison, from what I understand, right?
Yeah. So that was still going on at the time when he wrote all that. He wrote that on the return address.
Like early
So
90s.
the FBI ended up showing up to that guy's house, and hey, what kind of fucking connection do you have to this? Because he wrote that, and he was like, oh, we're just fucking kids, being dumb, sending each other. Because Ruben used to put like cop pictures of like just like corpses on the packages and shit like that, just to goof off. And so that was I always thought that was pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah, people don't fuck around with that shit. That's for sure. Good.
So all right. So after the stream is over, you'll be able to go to the Bandcamp, the NEKROFILTH.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to actually put it together. So give me like an hour.
Okay.
But
okay. So basically an hour.
Let me just plug all the cool shit.
Yeah, go ahead. This is plug-in time.
There's this Kiss thing. There's the record you saw, the Nanga. The Nanga LP we will have available, as well as the music, which is not up yet. It is not released yet in digital form, as far as I know. I think Dementia just released one song. Yeah. And then we got the Kiss thing, which comes in 4 colors.
Wow.
We got steel bearing hand variant is red with black. We got the we got here. This is the NEKROFILTH variant. It's like a green, kind of a green clear.
Yeah.
Like a thing AB, but it came just green clear. We got regular old black. And then my personal favorite, the carbonized records variant, is hot pink. So we got those 4 colors. And I'm going to have some t-shirts. I'm also going to put up these very fucking cool leather patches that I had.
What? Leather?
They're engraved with a laser. Maybe you can see them better there.
Yeah.
They're engraved with a laser.
Damn.
And they're all different. They're all different colors and textures. Like there's here's a white one, for example. Here's a red one.
Damn.
There's one. So I'll do my best to try to organize these by types or something, but I'm not going to be able to list every different one. But This one's like a snake skin kind of. Yeah, but they'll be up there. I'm really stoked on these. People at the gig that we played in June were like, "Whoa, they're very cool." Like leather with the logo is etched in there, so it's not it's actually like burned into the leather. And so look forward to that. It's going to be the release. Will be announced, and the Bandcamp will be flush full of merch for Bandcamp Friday because we pay the fee, which is very cool. And that'll, just that way you can get your fix. I know I don't update the thing very much because I'm not super big fan of going to the post office. I'm not much of a distro guy, honestly, but I like to be able to get the stuff out to folks that can't get it otherwise. So, of
course.
Yep. So that's the end of the plug.
I will include the. I'll trust me. I'm going to bring it up at least 5 more times for you before we're done. But I will put the NEKROFILTH Bandcamp link after the stream's over in the description. Though, if you can't Google NEKROFILTH Bandcamp, I'll fucking help you out. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's actually I think if you go to nekrofilth.com, it'll just send you to the Bandcamp.
There you go, nekrofilth.com. Even easier.
Less to remember.
All right,
don't quote me on that, but I think it does.
When is this coming out?
You mean the Abigail split? I don't see it.
You don't see it? Oh, okay. Well, it's up.
I see a spinner.
Weird.
The Abigail split's coming out in, as far as I know. So Hell's Headbangers does stuff differently. They do the CD out first, and the CD hopefully will be out like Halloween-ish, early November-ish.
Oh, quite cool.
Late October. We'll see. I'm hoping we can have it before the Fest Atlanta, obviously. So that is the hope, that it'll be out before that. If not, November sometime, and then vinyl. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
With Dementia, he's very selective on his releases. We do release here and there, but he's got an in with the pressing plant, so he gets the records out. But most labels, Hell's Headbangers included, you're looking at a year sometimes, I think, or at least 6 months. 6 months is relatively quick, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think some of the pressing plants are saying, if I slide you a couple extra bucks, they'll kind of.
Well, Lucas works with the plant. He's got an in with them because he's not an employee of GZ, but he works for a company that does direct business with them, and he does design work, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I don't want to speak for him, but he's always very good. I love working with Lucas because he's got super creative ideas and he has a lot of attention to detail, and he's a perfectionist about his releases, really. And he also, once everything's all said and done and he sends it into the pressing plant, it's like, and it's ready. So he's a dream to work with. I would do everything on Dementia, honestly, but it's cool to mix it up. And then also, Lucas, he only likes to do so many. I mean, he's only one guy, so.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So again, get all that shit that is coming out, the sick ass vinyl, and then that split 7-inch. Hey, is Steel Bearing Hand still around?
Yeah, this release is just it's just Wyatt on all the instruments.
Oh wow, okay.
Pretty amazing. His render, we did a Black Diamond, and our version is like, it's very faithful, but we messed around with it a bit. His version is like, it sounds like it sounds just like the original. It's like, I've heard like some people that I've heard are like, whoa, it's like, it's weird. It's not like he does the same tuning. It's got the same sound. His vocals are he sounds exactly like Paul Stanley. It's amazing.
So you did a split with Kiss, essentially.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, I would have thought he'd do it. I don't know, do something like, but I think he just loves Kiss so much he didn't want to change it at all. We did it, we did. I still added the tenderness in there. That's not normal for our sound, but it gets a little. It's still got our sound in there. But as far as I know, it's just Wyatt. I don't know if he's got a lineup or what. I talked to him here and there. He's talked about moving to Portland, which I hope he does. So I don't know if he's got a real stable lineup or what. I think he just kind of plays it by ear. He plays every instrument, so he does other bands and stuff, I think.
Yeah, well, I think he's got that new band, Tyrant's Might. Is that the same guy? Yeah. I think he's got. I don't
really catch up on stuff sometimes. I'm not.
Yeah, I think it's like brand new.
Okay, yeah, I haven't talked to Wyatt in a little. I mean, besides like we've been talking about the release, or whatever. We haven't chatted. He came and visited up here at one point when we were living here, but.
All right, so I put together a few pictures that I thought would be interesting conversation. So I'm going to put them up. They came from your social media site, so they're out there. But we could get a backstory on them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well, actually, first of all, let's talk.
Spider. All right,
let's talk about. Let me know when you see the picture. Let me know when you see the photo.
Yeah, I see it. So
okay.
I honestly, I don't know exactly where that is. All I know is that I feel like it's Chicago. I feel like it's when we played a show at the Empty Bottle in Chicago, but I don't know which one because we played several. And that's just Tony DiPrano found that for me when Jim died and sent it to me. And I was like, oh man, thanks so much. It's such a good picture. Because it's like,
yeah, great picture.
Yeah, you know, me and Jim was a difficult person in a lot of ways, but you know, I knew him from when I was 16, and like we bonded as, you know, music, like aesthetically, and like what music is, and you know, he was a very one of a kind dude.
Yep.
I mean, that's all I can really say is like. And so, yeah, anyway, it was very cool of DiPrano to find that picture, because I don't know where it came from or who took it, but he was like, you know, it's cool it's cool. At least I, you know, have in this day and age, you know, it's hard. Pictures get lost and stuff. And it's cool to have a lot of good ones, honestly.
So the reason I brought this up, because I mean, I got to meet Jim a couple of times, but everybody always says he was the nicest guy. He was, you know, he would give you shirt off your back, literally, or whatever.
Sure.
But can you give us a story, you know, involving you and Jim? Like, I know you guys went around quite a bit with.
This is a story that I've wanted. Actually, you know, when Jim died, I called up. They were talking on the radio. A couple of his close friends, oh my God, my memory is so bad, but like some folks that were really close to him were all there. Okay. And I called up and told a couple like funny little, he always had little quips. It's right. So like I told, like when we were in Malaysia and Borneo, we played a fucking show in Borneo.
Fucking like, wild.
In the northern part of Borneo where it's Malaysia. It's weird how it works, but you can look up the geography online. but anyway, we were in the Malaysian part of Borneo, and we had a couple days after the show, and it was the last show, and we went on this boat, and like these guys took us on this little rickety boat to like the smaller island where the beach was. And when we were getting away from the dock, there's all these like Filipino kids like underneath the dock, like huffing glue out of bags. And Jim was like, "No, that's what I call peer pressure." It was like all the time. He had quips like that. I mean, the dude was hilarious. But the story I want to tell that I didn't tell, I thought about it later, and I was like, man, this was a funny fucking story. Or it was a story that showed the kind of guy Jim was. So we played this festival in Calgary, Alberta. And Venom played, and it was like the Kronos Venom before Venom Inc. was a thing,
right?
And I was hanging around these guys from Canada, and it's kind of like I won't name names for the sake of whatever, but it was like they're totally cool people, and I honestly like the music, but it's like doom, kind of like, you know, 70s. When that was like a real thing, like the satanic 70s stuff, they're like that. They're cool, but they're like not, you know what I mean? They're more like, they're into different kinds of music and stuff. And their drummer was like not a metal dude at all. He was like a jazz drummer guy that they had just recruited to be in their band because he's like a sick musician and it could pull the music off. But he was like not a metal dude, which is whatever. So the day before we had arrived, Venom had been hanging out in the hot tub, and Kronos was wearing like just trying to be a spectacle, and he had like some outrageous shorts on or pants or something, and everyone was like whenever we saw Kronos, we were just like, what is he doing? Like we're like, I don't know, I couldn't talk to Kronos, I don't know what to say to the guy. So most people were just like, oh shit. And like Venom was hanging out in the hot tub, and this dude had no idea who Venom was because he's not a metal guy. And he was just like, hey, what's going on? And like, who are you? Like, what's your name? To Kronos. And Kronos was like, my name's Billy. And like, he hung out with him all day. And so he told us this story, and we're like, oh, that's cool. You know, he's like, he's like, yeah. And then we were hanging out, drinking, chilling. It was the day before. I think it was the day before. No, I guess it was the night we did play, because it was the night Venom played. And so like we were hanging, and like we were in Jim's hotel room with these people, and the guy, like I said, who was had just found out about Venom and was like having a great time at the festival. He goes, he's just like, Jim's like, we said something about Venom, and Jim's like, Venom. And he was like, oh, I'm really excited to hear their music for the first time or whatever. Because he wanted everyone to know his story. It kind of got to the point where it was annoying, because he was like, wanted everyone to know how he met Kronos, and he didn't know who he was. And they hung out with him, gave him beer all day. And because everyone else wanted to hang out with Venom, but was too scared. It is the truth. Right. The guy, like, folk was a total baller, hung out with Venom the whole time. But so and then Jim was like, huh? Like, he was like, like perturbed to the max. There'd be a person in his room that didn't know who Venom was. He was just like, what do you mean? Basically without saying anything, because Jim was just like, he was just making a face and looking at me and making a face. And he was like, why would you let this person in my hotel room? And so the guy was like, no, it's cool, man. It's cool. They love me. And Jim said, well, I love them. And that's all that matters. And he looked at me and he was just like, get these fucking people out of my room. That's the story I wish I told. I totally didn't think about it until like a year after, but wow, I have a very clear memory of that, because it was so funny in my head. I was like, this just was pure metal. I mean, unless it was Steelers, that was the only thing that surpassed his enthusiasm for metal, was his enthusiasm for the Steelers. But yeah. But yeah, he was like to the max. Like, yeah, he was like, why? He was physically upset with me that there'd be someone in his room that didn't know who Venom was.
Like, whoa, that's a prerequisite to fucking coming into this room. It's like, ask him at the door, hey, do you know who Venom is?
Yeah.
All right, come on in. Not that shit. That's hilarious.
There was so many things, man, good and bad. Jim, like, I will say that, when you get to know Jim, and a lot of people are really good, who were really good friends with Jim, is like, yeah, he was not all sunshine. I mean, he had another side to him, and that's how people are, but he was a guy that was earnest, and he was a true, like, there we go. That was also in Malaysia.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that where this was at? Because that shit's
that was
hilarious.
In Borneo too. That was like the day after the joke with the peer pressure.
The peer pressure.
I think that was the next day. Yeah.
That's fucking soon fat. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I always took a lot of pictures back then. I like fancied myself an amateur photographer.
Right.
So I always had like multiple cameras, and I was like trying to get good shots. So I have some cool pictures of Jim from weird places, but there's a lot, and that was one thing. It was like, man, I saw him 2 days before he had a stroke. And the day before that, it was like, we hadn't talked in a long time. And so we kind of fell apart. And when I left Cleveland, it was like, we were just like, sick of each other. And we weren't like, hey, buddy, like, it left a little bit, unresolved, I would say. And then I saw him in Cleveland a couple years later because I was there for the Head Bash, and he was playing with Graveworm. He was playing drums with Graveworm, and he'd like just had a heart attack or like some kind of minor heart thing. Like,
that's right.
He still played the show, and then the next day. Oh yeah, and then that day I was like, "Oh, it's Jim," and he came up to me, and it was unlike Jim to be like sentimental, kind of. Dude, that spider is huge. It's in my bathroom now. Anyway, he was like,
keep an eye on that motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not afraid of spiders, but I'm definitely keeping an eye on this one. It's a big motherfucker. Like, anyway, so he came up to me and he was like, "Hey man, how you doing? You know, and how's like Denver and stuff?" And he was just like, "Just wanted to thank you for all the years of music and all the times we had." And I was just like, "Okay, you know, like I was like, yeah, you know, I love you, man. Like we've we totally like we had a really great conversation." And then the next day Schnauzer played. It was Labor Day, so it was almost, yeah, like we're very close to this time. You know, Labor Day is coming up on Monday. Holy shit. So
Yeah.
that thing is big. So anyway, so and then yeah, the Schnauzer show happened and he like put a song out to me and stuff. So like I feel good that, and then yeah, that Wednesday he had the stroke. And then
Fuck. Yeah.
so yeah, and it was a whole thing. It was very sad, you know, like he had been having health problems before I moved away. He's starting to be having health like heart problems and stuff. And I think it was just, you know, it was just one of those things. And it's very, I mean, I'm now almost as old as he was when he passed.
Wow.
He was about 10 years older than me ish. So like, and it's been it's been a long time now. It's been almost 10 years.
Yeah, I know.
So like, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm just glad that at least if it had happened that I saw him and like we had a positive, you know, it's like one of those things when someone dies, it's
totally.
like people who knew them, like it's the way that they, and I personally find some solace in that. Like we were in the end, like we had at least I got to see him one last time and we had a really good time together. And like, you know, but
yeah, I totally get it. Totally get it. So I shared this photo earlier, like on Facebook, and I'm like, yeah, tune in to find out what the fuck's going on here. Why? What?
sure.
I think this was a.
I must
think
this
this was a NEKROFILTH.
This will be the first for me.
I think this must have been the NEKROFILTH tour when you guys were, I guess, in somewhere in Southeast Asia, maybe. What the hell is this?
Oh, that is a some kind of bug. Yeah.
So
that's that's just when I was there. I just went there myself to
oh, okay.
I was there with my friend Mike Hughes. He's toured with Nunslaughter before and back a long time ago, and he's a cool dude, radio DJ. And I was just eating bugs, and we were hanging out with our Thai friends, and they just have them out in the street, and I'm like, you know, when in Rome, you eat bugs.
So it wasn't like on a menu or anything. It was just.
I was a very adventurous eater.
Yeah, I know. I remember
now
you
my
posting
stomach.
a video.
Now my stomach, I would be, but my stomach doesn't handle it as well. My stomach's not too bad, but it's like, yeah, it's like they're sold just on the street. Yeah, it's like people are like have a bunch
of shit.
I think we got like ant eggs, and they're all deep fried, so it's like, you know, they're totally dehydrated. They're not going to hurt you. They basically taste like nuts.
Really?
I mean, honestly, like I'm not like someone who eats bugs all the time, but I am. I do think that if we ate more bugs as a society, that like it would be, you know, there's a lot of benefits to it in reality. Like they're very, you know, they produce a lot more calorific intake as far as like how much energy and food you put into them, you know. So if people are just not to be, hopefully we won't get to that point in our society. I'm like, people should maybe not wimp out and just try them. They're not that bad.
Well, I remember, I think you had shared a video. It was probably the same trip of you eating something. I'm trying to remember what it was. What was it?
That's it's still up on YouTube. It's called Vietnam Cobra Getting Ready for My Dinner. You can look it up.
Oh, okay.
It's on my personal YouTube, and it has like a lot of negative thumbs down.
Does it really?
It's pretty crazy. It's one of those things I only did. I mean, I just did it because it's so crazy and exotic.
What's the video called? I can find it.
Yeah, find it. It's called Vietnam Cobra Getting Ready for My Dinner.
Getting ready.
And it's just my personal YouTube, so you should see my name there. And just.
Oh yeah, it's like okay, this is it. Holy shit! Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Everybody's gonna have to see this shit. So, but in the meantime, let me.
It's a great video.
Yeah,
I mean,
I remember
very
seeing that. I was
exotic.
like, what the fuck
But
is
yeah,
going on?
they literally, they just, you pick it the one you want when it's still alive, and they take it down for you and cook it up, and you drink
Yeah,
you eat its beating heart is the part of the ritual. Chinese people think it helps you get it up.
really.
So like they'd have it. It's mostly for Chinese tourists, from what I understand. It's pretty fucking expensive. Like in Vietnam, you can get a meal for like $1 or $2, but it was like, I don't know. It was almost $100, I think, for this thing. So it's
All right, here
for
we
rich.
go.
It's for rich Chinese tourists. But I was like, I mean, it's like, I think Anthony Bourdain did it. Like he did it like in a nice restaurant. Where I did it was like it was like in the middle of rice fields, in the middle of nowhere. But yeah,
Well,
you
let's
pick it
all.
out. They cut its head off, drain the blood in a bottle of vodka, and
All right.
you drink the blood vodka with the beating heart still beating.
All
It's
right. Here,
part
so
of
let's
the
all
ritual.
watch it. Let's all watch it together. There we go.
Wait. Sao mày cầm cái nào không hang như thế? Từ á. Rồi, từ ấy.
Nắm cái đuôi này mày.
Mày nắm luôn đi con. Nắm cái đuôi để cho đồ không thâu đi.
And I love how it's still moving.
Yeah, it's cool.
There you go. There's the blood. It's Vietnamese rice blood,
Bloody Mary.
and it stays bright red because of the alcohol. So it doesn't decrease. And now he's gonna dig in and find the heart of the gallbladder. And it's really.
Nghe này. Em nắm mày em.
Holy shit.
It's still moving.
It's still fucking moving. Shrimp. Vietnamese ketchup. So they're cutting it open to do what again?
So he's trying to find the heart of the gallbladder.
Oh shit.
Part of some kind of superstition that they were. I think both of them, it's to help you have sex.
Oh, okay. Damn.
I think that's all they. I don't know if it's maybe it's like virility or something. But like I said, I think it's the reason why it's so expensive is because like rich Chinese tourists come down and they think this is gonna improve them in some way. And not really meant for Westerners, I think, except for people who are want to try something out.
Yeah, exactly. So you got a lot of negative comments on this.
A couple negative comments, more just lots of down.
Oh, okay, thumbs down. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a different culture.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, they're farm cobras. They're not endangered.
Right.
I mean, certainly
That's
doesn't look super fun for the cobra. So I'll let that be.
Yeah. That's
Wouldn't
wild.
do it a second time, but it was a cool experience.
Right. Here's another one. This I remember this one. I was like, this shit made me laugh. It's like, where the hell is this at?
That's in Mexico City.
The Anthrax Club?
We were just, me and my now wife were hanging around in Mexico City for like a week, which is fucking such a cool place. And it was just, we were walking around somewhere. There was a cemetery right by here, and I was like, what the fuck? And who knows how or why that's there, but it was there. It was made of looked like it was made of steel, like sheet steel or something.
Wow.
And it was just big Anthrax logo sign over a door. No more to the story than that, and just had to take a photo.
Fucking Anthrax. The Anthrax Club. All right, what else? Oh, so
yeah, who knows?
This Saturday, you're actually playing this show, right?
That's correct. That's going to be a blast. It's outside with a drum riser party show to end the summer. And there's also a band of young teenagers, aggro. It's like fastcore. Yeah, it's like some kind of like blast beating punk rock stuff by little kids. So that should be pretty fun. And as far as I know, that's kind of the appeal of this gig. It's going to be a lot of the youth that can't get into the normal shows are going to be at this party show.
Sweet. So who's in the lineup now for these live shows?
Right now, it's going to be for this show. It's my man Trevor from Pink Mass is playing bass,
okay. And
this kid Aiden, he's like a punk rock drummer, is doing this show, and should be sounding pretty tight, and it's sounding pretty good, and I think the bands are all cool, and I think the venue seems, I haven't seen it for myself, but it's some place with a bunch of land, and they've got some kind of stage and PA system figured out, and it's just going to be a big party.
I walked in at a weird time. he just logged on when I was showing that video.
Oh.
Yeah, what the fuck did I just tune into? So
here, this is something I almost grabbed from my fridge, but I'm glad I labeled it.
What is that?
Oh, it says warning LSD.
Oh, I can't see it with my old eyes. So anybody near the Portland area get to the show in Milwaukee, Oregon? Who knew there was I found out today there's a Milwaukee, Oregon. So
yeah, and it's spelled wrong, or it's spelled differently, I should say. There's a Milwaukee street right by my house too, spelled the same way as that. Spelled differently from the city in the Midwest.
Right, yeah, of course. Hell yeah. So yeah, there you go, NEKROFILTH live. Hell yeah, I've seen NEKROFILTH live several times, and
we're also playing that. We're also playing that Mass Destruction Fest in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to next. Here we go. So they're also
on this
bill. No, you're good. So this looks like a pretty wild lineup.
Yeah, I'm really excited to just go and not tour or anything and just enjoy an entire fest. I'll be there all weekend.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see your boys, mine as well. Oath of Cruelty.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, they're
heroes. Very excited to see those dudes.
Yep.
And some very cool bands. Volcano. Yeah. Very excited. About that.
Yeah, they're playing Houston too, believe it or not.
I think Bulls are canceled.
Rule.
I think Bulls are canceled. I don't know anything about Bolzer, so I don't know. But they canceled, and I think there's somebody else now. But very cool lineup.
Yeah, that looks like a good fucking time there. Where's that, Atlanta?
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia.
The Loft.
It's a cool town.
Yeah, never been, but I'll take your word for it.
It's probably the only cool place to play in the entire southeastern United States.
Okay.
I'm gonna just say that. And it's not even always cool, but it's the best possible situation if you're in that part. I would skip all of the other states and don't play there. But Atlanta, Georgia is okay. It's a big city. You know, there's a lot of different people there, and it's cool.
Hell yeah. Once again, don't forget, about an hour after the stream is over, you will be able to purchase this and also the splits evidence with Still Bearing Hand.
Which looks like this.
And also the leather patches.
Also leather patches.
Yeah,
Some
so
are shiny.
make sure you do that. Make sure you guys,
Very cool.
fucking people do that shit.
Check out.
Go out there, go to the Bandcamp, go to NEKROFILTH.com, and it'll take you to the Bandcamp.
Yeah, one or the other.
Yep. Sarcophago War. All right. First time I've seen you on here. Appreciate you coming on, dude. Checking out the show. All right, let's go through. I know there are some people that have some questions that I've been kind of. Sorry, dudes. I've been kind of skipping some of these.
Oh, I see comments.
Yeah, they've been kind of.
I was on the wrong thing. I was on the private chat, and I didn't.
No, yeah,
see
you got to go to comments.
My fault. I didn't see any of your stuff until right now.
Yeah, and I saw it.
I'm not gonna be able to answer all these questions, folks.
No. Coming down to SoCal anytime soon.
How about this? Hey, Zach, what's an album you can put on anytime, anywhere?
Oh, there we go.
Front to back. Man, there's so many, but probably off the top of my head,
The one right
Motorhead
behind you.
Overkill. Yeah, that one for sure. Motorhead Overkill I listened to a lot this summer. And probably the second Judas Priest record, the first 7 Black Sabbath records, Rain in Blood, Kill 'Em All. There's so many that I can. There's so many albums that's like when I start the album, it's really hard for me to not finish it because it's like such a But yeah, there's so many.
Buddy DJ Hellhammer from India.
Weird Al, Dare to Be Stupid. That's another really good one.
Hell yeah. I rode with Radiation Sickness and saw y'all play with them and another band at some strip mall in Cleveland.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Last time I saw Kanye in person.
Yeah, man, that was a weird fucking show. I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was like somewhere in Cleveland suburbs. And you know what it was? It was because the horror convention was happening in Strongsville. So it was like somewhere near there. So it was like people from the horror convention could go like check out the show during the day or something. I think it was like, can't remember if it was at night or during the day. It was meant to be like something because for the horror folks, for the Cinema Wasteland.
Yeah, Cinema Wasteland.
Yeah.
So Cleveland area has got some fucking wild, some fucking unique people that I've known over the years. Steve Eggs being one of them. I don't know if you ever got a chance to hang out with Steve Eggs.
Steve's cool, dude.
He was dude is just one of a kind.
I know this friend of mine, he lives in Japan. He's a German fellow. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. He always comes whenever he would come. He like came to Cleveland, like it was like 2010 or 2011, and I show like NEKROFILTH's playing a show, and he's there, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he hung out with Steve Eggs for a whole week. I don't know what they did. I just made noise demos or something, but like,
yeah, exactly. The King of Parma.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I was like, man, yeah, Steve Eggs is he's another Cleveland character. I love that guy.
He fucking rules. Yeah, Steve Eggs rules. I've had him on here, and it was every time it's been amazing. Bloodstone, Zack, I met you last time you played Houston. Y'all stayed at my homie Jeff's place. You, Shaggy, Justin were really cool.
Yeah, man. Thanks, dude. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you.
Yep.
What's your preferred method of recording practicing? Do you party?
Yeah, I saw that. Where's that at?
I don't know. I mean, I'm probably like, I might like, I might get a little, but I don't consider like jamming to be a party thing. I got shit to do, so I like to try to practice regularly, but I usually cut it at like a 2-hour thing, and we focus on getting the music down. But doesn't mean I might not have a beer or whatever. But I guess, are you asking, is it like, do you just kind of feel it out? And I think I would say that I'm more goal oriented. It's tough for me personally to find motivation if there's not a release that we're gonna do, show we're gonna do.
Look at that.
Love you, Steve Eggs.
Up here. Hell yeah. Totally mint dude right there. You're exactly right. Yep. Totally mint.
Lynch was great. True.
Yep. But yeah, I need to get Steve Eggs back. I need to get you back on here and have a Steve Eggs playlist.
Yeah, we can have
I'm sure it'll be fucking wild.
Yeah,
dude, totally.
Well, I've been out of touch for the last 10 years, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Fucking Sal. All the 1980 celebrities are in the house. Sal, Steve Eggs.
Oh, why didn't I steal Don's records? I just didn't.
Oh, okay. Why didn't you?
Not because that's not a nice thing to do. You don't steal your friends' records. That's why.
Hey, so I mean, Don, I don't really know him very well, but I mean, he's obviously been a fixture in the scene for a long fucking time too. Any memories of hanging out with Dawn of the Dead? I mean, he's a pretty.
Yeah, there's a lot of memories, man. I mean, tell you the truth, we're not really friendly. We haven't talked in probably 10 years, but
what? Damn.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things that happens, I guess. But yeah, no, me and Don at one point were very close, and we it was very cool being in the band, but it's like one of those things, personalities clash over time, and that's just something that happens in life. So
totally. Can you talk about the writing or recording process of Angelic Dread?
Well, the writing process was long, and I know that we recorded the thing, and it took many years after we recorded the music for it to be finished. But I'd say in general, it was a record. I don't know. It was cool. It's not one of my favorite records I played on. I think it's cool, but it's whatever.
Did you ever go to, since Steve Eggs popped up, every time I think of Steve Eggs, I think of Cedar Point. Did you ever go to Cedar Point?
I have been to Cedar Point, yes.
And is it as mint as fucking Steve Eggs always? He's always talking about how it's fucking rules.
Oh, it's mint? Yeah, it's mint.
It's mint, dude.
I mean, it had or has the biggest nut screamer. Fuck yeah. It had or has the biggest roller coaster or something. I don't know, longest roller coaster. It had some record roller coaster. Steve Eggs, let us know what's.
Yeah, what was it?
I have not been to Cedar Point in probably fucking 20 years. So I don't go to amusement parks, but I like cool old timey ones with like wooden roller coasters, but I don't like the big one. I don't like. Yeah,
the ones where there's a serious potential of maybe it just fucking collapsing while you're on it.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I like the ones more like that, the wooden old school ones. I don't really like the modern.
Yeah,
it's more like
all the creaks.
The experience of the park is is different. It's like it's crowded and there's a lot more lines and stuff like that.
Well, I know we're both big cyanide fucking nerds. So you did a fucking split with cyanide, so that had to be pretty fucking
Oh, that
cool.
was great. Yeah, that came out fantastic. That was a song that I just wanted for that split for years. We were talking about doing the split. It actually got 2 different recordings. The original recording is on that tape that Craig put out that was kind of just an old session that never went anywhere. And then we re-recorded it for the Cyanide split along with a United Mutation cover. And
Nice.
And they did a song, I think an unreleased demo track that had never been released, and also a cover. But yeah, I really love like the artwork and the way. That's another Dementia release.
That's that silver one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. Again, it was Lucas' idea to do like the foil thing.
Yeah, it looks sick. It looks real cool. But yeah, so it's like, well, I don't know if actually Zack and I had talked about, and unfortunately, never. Maybe it still can happen. Speaking of cyanide, you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go when you are, bud. Oh, and speaking of that,
keep it at that.
We'll keep it a secret. I do want to bring up. I'm having another. I recorded me and Matt Putrid and our friend Laser. We formed a band back in tail end of 2014 and recorded an EP, and it took a very long time, but it's now finally coming out. I think tail end of this year. It's a band called Torso Freak. It's hard. I don't know. Hopefully the tail end of this year, maybe next year. But
there you go. Look out for Torso Freak with Matt Putrid.
Torso Freak.
Torso Freak.
It's horror death metal worship. It's fantastic. I'm very stoked.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. Is that the only thing Putrid ever did musically?
It's the only thing to this day.
Right. Yeah.
And it's been taken. It's taken. You're getting the wrong Matt there. He's not in Coffin Dust. Matt has never done anything musical except for this one project, which will be out.
Putrid is the. Wait, I'm thinking of the artist guy, right?
Yeah, Matt Putrid.
Yeah.
But this guy said Matt Putrid rules, Coffin Dust slays. He's talking about the other Matt. Different.
Oh, okay.
Matt Slime.
A guy named Laser? Is that
Laser?
Is that his birth name?
He's our buddy Laser, yeah.
Wait, Zack is in a
his
band.
His brother came up with the story I heard is his parents are like kind of weird hippies, and they let his older brother come up with his name.
Yeah. Zack is in a band with a fucking American Gladiator. Fucking Laser. Hell yeah. Matt Slime. Yeah, that's him, right?
Yeah, he's thinking of Matt Slime. Matt Putrid, purely. Yeah, he does vocals on this release.
Okay, cool.
And I think it came out great. He wrote all the lyrics. It's 4 or 5 songs, all about a different horror movie. And there's like cool mortician samples on and stuff. And it's very low tuned, cool death metal stuff. I think it'll be a fun release.
He stopped singing on vocals on this new record that's going to be available after this, about an hour after the stream's over, though. But this record still rules, so you need to go get it. I've actually heard it. So Zack actually sent me advanced stuff of all the new shit.
Yeah, you can put on a tune if you want. I don't know. When we
yeah, I'm gonna have to make an MP4 of it, but
whatever.
I'd have to. Yeah. Well, I was gonna ask you, but I was like, it hasn't even been out, so I didn't want to like put it out there without it being officially out.
I don't care getting out to the cool folks here, you know.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's not get carried away with cool, but they're all right. Speaking of samples, the one for Junkie Cunt was brutal. Okay.
Yeah, there's no sample. There's no sample in that song. I think you're referring to the video.
There's no sample on this song. Hurry up and put it on, damn it.
We don't do movie samples in NEKROFILTH, really. I can't. Yeah.
Do you remember? So is guitar Do you remember something I always ask people like on my 666 fucking short videos is or riffs? Do you remember what the first riff was that you tried to learn?
I'm pretty sure it's Smoke on the Water.
Oh, okay, that's actually a popular answer amongst
I'm
like
almost positive because you can just bar it. It's fourths, so you can just go dun, nah, nah. You don't have to do your can be it doesn't have to be as strong. I'm almost
Right.
positive it was Smoke on the Water. The first song I learned that had actual chords was like House of the Rising Sun. That's how I got. And then I don't know. I think I
Oh
learned
shit.
probably learned like some Nirvana songs and some Metallica songs when I got a little better and shit like that. And
Right.
yeah, first riff ever I think was Smoke on the Water. That's the riff you learn. You just figure it out. Like you just do it on the dots. You know, it's like
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy because I mean, obviously that's a pretty famous song, but that's like probably the simplest riff that band ever wrote because everything else
Yeah.
they do is just it's insane.
That's probably true. Yeah, it's for
Yeah.
I think it's a very simple for riff for Richie Blackmore. Richie Blackmore likes to get real. He likes to do
Dude,
some.
that
Yeah,
fucking
he likes to get
live
wild.
that fucking live and what is it
But you can't deny a thick riff.
well no I mean it's obviously one of the catchiest riffs of all time because there's kids nowadays are learning how to fucking play that riff.
Sure.
It's
No riffs.
actually, so that riff is it's now that I remember thinking about it, it's basically Am I Evil, the same fucking notes. I think say
Kind of.
Sort of.
What's even closer is Black Funeral, Merciful Fate. It's almost exactly the same riff. Just listen to it again. It's like you'll not be able to unhear it. I like heard it one day. I was like, oh, it's totally the same riff, but it's like a different timing.
Well, I mean, King Diamond loved Deep Purple. That's no fucking.
No, I'm saying
secret.
Am I Evil and
Oh,
Black
okay.
Funeral. Am I Evil and Black Funeral.
Well,
yeah,
well, Metallica ripped off everybody in the early '80s. So
yeah, well,
so.
I've done plenty of ripping off. I'm not going to judge Metallica for it. They made a career out of it. So.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, of course, we all do. Everybody do. Guitar Center everywhere has one guy playing that fucking song. You're right.
So, addressing your idea of having Matt Putrid do hand-drawn covers for every version, it took me a year to get Putrid to change. The original name of the band was Torso. We changed it to Torso Freak. It took him a year to write Freak. So I'm not asking Matt to draw hand covers for 100 records or whatever. It is what it is. They're all going to have the same cover, and you get what you get, and that's it.
Right. That's funny. All right, so let me share another screen here with everybody to give you an idea of what the NEKROFILTH currently looks like, but it's going to be updated. Oh, I just took it off. So that's what
There'll be one more release, and there'll be a couple merch items.
So that's what it's going to look like. So after this stream's over, an hour later, you're going to go on there and you're going to fucking buy a record. All right? Every one of you. Go buy a record. Don't be cheap bastards. Something good is, trust me, I heard it. It kicks ass. Hey, speaking of Slaughter, what the cover is on which one of these releases? Or was that just an extra track?
Yeah, so there's also an upcoming release with Coffins.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I'll let it leak that it's happening. I mean, it's good.
Okay.
It's in the works. And yeah, that one will have a Slaughter cover on it.
There you go. Yeah, not Slaughter Fly to the Angels, Fraser. This is fucking we don't talk about that.
I had an ex-girlfriend who had she had this glam DVD that had all these different bands on the back, and it was it was all these glam rock bands, and the one was Slaughter, and you could tell they just like went on the internet to get the description because they got the description for the wrong band. Like it was talking about talking about Terry Sadler and shit, and it's like it's definitely not the same. But like whoever put the DVD menu together,
Yeah, that's right.
Just Googled it and got the wrong info.
Yep, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, that's right. I do remember hearing about that. That's fucking funny. All right. Let me see if I can actually probably play some live shit, some of that live Houston show, and then that'll give me time to get a new song ready. So I can do that. If you don't mind that showing the Houston show. Because I don't think there's anything of the new lineup out there on YouTube. At least I don't think there is. Or is there any like new lineup videos out on YouTube right now?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
There's nothing. The lineup playing this show on Saturday. This is the first time that lineup has played a show.
Oh, okay.
The last show in June was. There's some changes just because if someone got COVID and there was a fill-in. So.
Oh, I forgot this morning. So, since he's a fucking YouTube celebrity sensation nowadays, Justin, are you still cool with Justin?
Yeah.
Okay. Any J-Dog stories you have that you can share?
I just love his just complete and utter disregard for other people's feelings. I find it hysterical. like there was one time, so he used to be before he started working out, he used to be, he had like long, very dark hair, and like he used to wear a big jacket with all these like pins. And I just remember this time in particular, we were hanging out, like Crucified Mortals was playing a show, and our drummer Sebastian, he's like, he owns a business where he basically people hire him to have people come and like take the big machines and wax the floors and clean. He's got like a big cleaning company.
Right.
And so J-Dog's just like, so basically you clean shitters for a living. and like was just like what you're saying is basically what you're saying is you literally clean fucking toilets. And he's like, no, he's like, I employ 60 people that do that. Like, but that's J-Dog. He's like, got you there,
Yeah.
He's just, he's completely, he completely does not give a shit. It's so fucking funny.
He told me, I'm reading his fucking text because I think he said he met you. He said you could ask him who was the first Horval brother that he met, and do you remember when? That was the question that he had asked.
I mean, I remember meeting the three. It was Chase and Eric and Justin just at shows when they were younger, just when they had their CDs, and it used to just be like the three Metal Brothers. Like people would just say, "Oh yeah, it was the three Metal Brothers selling their wares," and that eventually grew into to Hell's Headbangers. But like the first dude that I like, obviously got close with is Craig, and I didn't know. Like I remember, like Wayne told me, he's like, he was at the Creator show, and he's like, yeah. So I met. There's another one. There's a fourth.
There's another one.
They just used to be like, we used to call them like the Metal Brothers. Like people that didn't know. I'm sure there's people that knew him by name, but like we just saw them at the shows, and they'd just be like, they'd have they weren't real talkative guys.
Yeah.
And I was just, they were like the Metal Brother guys that sell stuff at the shows. And like, he's like, there's a fourth Metal Brother. He's younger. He's like still in high school, and he's like more into thrash. He doesn't like the death metal stuff as much. And then like a while later, like, I met him through Sebastian, and I started jamming with Crucified Mortals. That's my memory, which is maybe there's some other story he's referring to that I forgot.
Yeah, he said something different. He goes, he probably does it. He goes, it was actually me in 1999 Mortician show. We talked about macabre.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It was 2000.
Okay, 2000. He says Athanar drove. This dude's got a hell of a memory. He said Athanar drove him home that night.
That's right.
How do you remember this?
Yeah.
Shit?
Yeah, no, because it was a funny story. It was like I was a kid. I was 16. It was like it was. I believe it was. Maybe it was 1999. It was either late 1999 or early 2000. Maybe he's right. Maybe it was 1999. Whichever. I was very young, and my friend who was like a huge Mortician fan, he had the Mortician thing like drawn on his back, like how Will Romer had it and everything. And we were like, dude, I want to see Mortician. You know, I was like 16. He was like maybe 18 or 19, and his car broke down, and we were like all bummed, and like we didn't know anyone that wanted to drive an hour to go see some fucking shitty band. So like, it's like, cause it was backstory. The shows at this time were at this place that was an hour away from Cleveland. It sucked. All of the death metal shows in like the early 2000s were at this place called the Flying Machine. Anyone who was in the metal scene at that time is like, yeah, it was like the bane of everyone's existence. It was just like this guy just like hooked on to all the touring acts and got them to play over at his club that was literally an hour drive from Cleveland. It was like 50 miles away. So it was like, it was very difficult to get to, and we're like, fucking Mortician, we gotta go. So my mom drove us there, but she's like, I'm not fucking driving all the way back here to get you. Like, you've got to find a ride home. So I was like, okay. And then we talked to this dude, Rashid, this big black dude who's still around. He's a fucking metal maniac. And because I knew him, and I was like, dude, do you know anyone that gives us a ride? And he found Mr. Athanar. I won't use his real name. I don't know. And I didn't know. Yeah, we didn't know. I didn't know who he was. Like he just drove us home, and I was like, I was like a 16-year-old kid. I was into like the extreme death metal and everything. And I wasn't like, I didn't have a fleshed out understanding, I was just like into whatever was the heaviest stuff possible. Yeah. And so he's in the car and he's playing some stuff, and like, I was like, oh, hey, and I got some tapes. Do you want to listen to some metal? And he was like, he like, it was like the record. It was like that kind of thing. And it was like, he's like offended. He's like, this is Diamond Head. This is as metal as it gets.
Yeah, that's exactly what Justin wrote. That's exactly what Justin wrote in this thing.
Yeah. I forgot Justin was at that show. Now that I think about it, oh man, that was a long fucking time ago. It was a cool fucking show. I mean, that was a weird time. It was like, right. The hell, do I like Hellhammer? Of course I like Hellhammer. Didn't Craig spin around and hit Dawn of the Dead in his face with his ponytail? That is a thing Don used to say all the time. But what was I saying? I was in the middle of something else. My fault.
Let's go back talking about.
Oh yeah, just
Justin
that thing.
Meeting him at the
It shows those days. Yeah, it was in Cleveland. It sucked because it was just like this venue in the middle of nowhere. It was just a weird time. Like Mortician, I'm glad now they're getting all this recognition and getting a lot more like attention on a different level than they used to. But Mortician in 1999, to see Mortician, it was a very obscure thing. I mean, it still is, but I'll see like lots of people wearing Mortician t-shirts, and I feel like I wouldn't have seen.
Well, yeah, because at that time, bands like
prior where the internet the internet was around, but it was not as easy to get information as it is now.
Yeah, but at that time, Mortician was headlining, and bands like Lamb of God, Shadows Fall were like opening for Mortician around that time, which was fucking weird, Now that those bands are like massive.
Burn the Priest, that was their Lamb of God before, right? I've never heard it, but
no, it was. I saw Mortician in Houston in the late '90s. They had like Shadows Fall, God Forbid, another one of those shitty ass bands.
Yeah, you're right. Those because those bands were just starting around that time, and
Yeah, exactly. And they were like,
they had more market appeal,
yeah,
Mortician has zero market appeal. You open up the inside of that CD case, those guys, like, there's nothing sexy or anything about it. It's just two guys in a basement with horror movies and like holding an axe. I mean, it's like that is not that doesn't have a wide appeal to, like, people that are like want, have a different aesthetic. I'll say.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this. I'm gonna.
NEKROFILTH, welcome to Savage Bootlegs.
Oops. I'm going to fast forward it a little bit, get rid of that fucking interview there with Matt. Another Matt.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the second show. That was.
I wish they had recorded.
All right,
when
so
they did that interview, when we did that
really
interview, we just played a way superior show too. And I was like, they had 1 million cameras, and I was like, why didn't you record the show we just played to go along with this interview? Like, oh, we're just going to use the show from like 2 years ago. I was like, what?
Oh, so that interview wasn't
no, that interview was when we were on tour with Ghoul like a year or two later, and that show was like insane. Like the one at Mango's was pretty cool, but the one where we were on tour with Ghoul, like, for one, we played a lot better. It was like a really good show from our end, and also just the crowd reaction and stuff was a lot better.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, why didn't you guys? I didn't understand why they had 5 cameras for an interview, and they couldn't put just one up, just have it up when the bands were playing. But they're like, oh, well, we would have had to like do this. I'm like, all right.
All right. So we're gonna watch a little bit of that Mango show right now. That way, that'll give me time to get one of the. I'm gonna do Narco Satanists, since we talked about that song. I'll make an MP4 of it quickly, and yeah. So everybody enjoys NEKROFILTH in Houston. I think this is 2015, maybe. I can't remember. Anyway, here we go. It's gonna jump in like probably right in the middle of the song, but whatever. Here we go.
Yeah! skull! Worm skull! Worm skull! Ah! Are you truly void of pain from the holes inside your brain? Upward larva sweating deep. Now you're nothing but Worm skull! Worm skull! Can you taste the black decay? Toxins in your head run you away. Effortless corrosion of your feeble mind. Your beauty fate is turned into void.
All right, there you go. Worm Skull, and it's weird that I fucking started on Crave the Grave since we talked about that sauce.
Yeah. That was good timing.
What the fuck? So, all right, I think I have a song ready. This is Narco Satanist.
Narco Satan.
Narco Satan or Narco Satanist?
Narco Satanist, yeah.
Okay. Wasn't thought maybe I had it wrong.
I'm not exclusively a pointy guitar guy, but I like Explorers and Flying V's, but that's not all that I've got, but just looks cool with 2 Flying V's, so that's why I'm sitting here.
Yeah, there we go. All right, here's a new tune. Check it out. So I'm glad somebody mentioned it. One of the, I think every Necrofilth recording, the bass is pretty prominent in the mix. Would you say that's an accurate statement?
Yeah, I like a loud bass. This recording I played bass on.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm. This one is just me and DD Lazy of Head Split Records.
Right. Where was this recorded at?
In the practice space, just on my 4-track. And then I recorded the rest of the tracks at home. And but we got the drums and the initial guitar. I kind of just like recorded it to see how it would sound, and then I didn't do a very good job miking the drums, and it sounded really weird. And I was like, I kind of like it. Like I don't want to record it again. It's like, and I brought it to a local guy who did a really great job mixing it and bringing the drums out and making them actually like have like attack, because it had a muddy sound at first, but it just had like a really cool, like cavernous, weird production. And I was like, oh man. But yeah, it's the weirdness of it is the fact that all the drum mics have a ton of guitar bleed, so it makes it sound extremely strange. And then the bass, I was trying really hard to get the tone from NME, but I ended up making it, but I made it like really, really low end, and like I really like how it turned out. I think the NME sound is a little more like scratchy.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was actually going to ask you that. So on this recording, I'm thinking it might be a nod to NME, because every song before has a ton of feedback.
Yeah,
like on
you hit it on the nose.
Yeah, I was like, hey, that's fucking NME. So, and I know how
and
much
we did an NME cover. We do an NME cover, obviously, so that completes it. But yeah, no, I was trying to recreate that sound, and I think we done. Obviously, it's a little bit of a different, but it's the feeling, I think, is just the cavernous, like crazy chaos feeling that album has, and the very prominent bass, although it's a little bit more warm and less like scratchy, which I don't know that bass tone. I've seen NME, like not the Brian version of NME, but with that rhythm section, that bass player and that drummer, they still do NME. And I saw them in Tacoma like a year and a half ago in front of like 10 people. And it was those guys. The bass player, Scott Tinsley, that guy is still a complete maniac. He just was like fucking rolling around the stage and just, it was insane. Like it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yes. So, but yeah, that bass tone on the enemy record, I think nothing beats it. It's just, it sounds like a fucking earthquake. So I was trying unsuccessfully to completely replicate it, but in the process, I think I came up with a cool sound. And there's one song actually where the bass, because I had to turn it up so fucking loud to get it to have. There's one or two songs where in the bass rack you can hear things falling off the shelves in my room. Like there's like picture frames breaking. Because it was just I have like a PV bass amp, that everyone in the 80s used. I'm like, that's probably what dude used, and just like tried to just crank it to get the natural distortion out of it, and it just I'm really stoked on the way this release ended up sounding, and the songs are very strong, and Dylan's performance on it is fucking great. Like the first song is like the fastest blast beat we've ever had in any song. It's like insane. It's very, very cool. And like, every song sounds different. And also, the production's great. And the packaging is very, very cool and unique. So I'm really happy about this release that it's finally out. And you can get it in America.
You can get it here
in an hour or two when I just check it periodically. I'll probably do a thing I'll let you guys know when it's up. But it'll be up by midnight, hopefully.
There you go. Midnight your time?
Midnight. Bandcamp Friday starts at midnight PST.
Eastern? Oh, does it?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Okay, so that'll be 2 o'clock here. So, just get it in the morning if you're not up.
It'll be all day tomorrow.
Huh?
It'll be all day tomorrow. If
Yeah,
you
it'll be
order
all up there
tonight,
tomorrow.
if you order tonight, we're not Amazon. It's not coming any faster.
And if you use the code word JOABA, you still got to pay the same price. Right?
But
Just
you can
put
know
it
that
on
we're
there.
not
Put it
having
on
to pay
there.
the fee.
Yeah, if you bought it because we told you to buy it here, just leave Zack a nice note on the Bandcamp when you buy it. After you buy it, not when you buy it. After you buy it.
Hemorrhoid release. So Mike is talking about the Hemorrhoid release. I recorded their first demo or promo.
How come I can't see that? I don't even.
Speaking of fast,
played that
I
a
totally
lot.
shit the bed by not buying the Hemorrhoid release.
Oh, there it is. I see it.
I don't know.
I think that.
I'm not sure. I think they have a 7-inch and a tape. Like they did that promo tape, and I recorded that with the same 4-track that we recorded the Nanga mini LP.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to say the name because I was like, I don't know if it's how to pronounce it. So
Hemorrhoid?
No, Naga.
Oh, Nanga, yeah.
Nanga.
It's referring to the cauldron. It's an African religion thing that got brought over to South America at some point, and this narco-Satanist guys. Narco-Satanist was just a term that the media used to be sensational about it. They were not Satanists, but it sounds cool. But and then the narco part is that they were selling cocaine and stuff to finance their operations, and so they were called the narco-satanicos in the Mexican press. But they really were like they had some strange offshoot of this African and then later like Cuban or Caribbean religion that involves sacrificing things. Sacrifice is a strong word. Offering things to this pot. It's called
it's a cauldron.
I think it's fairly benign in the original version of the religion, but these folks made a cult out of it and made it very extreme and was like, so they were sacrificing in addition to like chickens, they were also sacrificing human beings. And so the Nanga, the reason why the album is called Nanga, that front cover that you can see right here is a depiction of a press clipping that showed the Nanga from the crime scene.
Yeah, that's a pretty infamous photo where you see it from the top inside the cauldron or whatever. You see the bones. But yeah, dude, that story was huge. I mean, I think that was 89. Yeah, that was all over, especially since it had to do with a kid from Texas.
That was how they got caught. Was they sacrificed a white Texas kid and the American authorities started looking into it. But before it was like their victims, I think, were kind of people on the outskirts and so never really got noticed. But that was when it became, the FBI got involved and they got caught real quick. And what's crazy is the people, they thought when the investigators showed up, they thought because they had sacrificed everyone in the Nanga, they thought they had this power. And that when the police showed up, they were like, oh yeah, we killed people over here and there, because they didn't think the police were going to be able to do anything to them because they thought that they had given themselves all this power from all the crazy fucked up shit they had done. So they were completely willing to tell and show the whole story of what happened. It's fucking crazy stuff. It's like, I'm not much of like a true crime guy. Trevor, our bass player, is like, that's like he really loves that stuff. He gave me the idea for the song or for the lyrics. But it's that is a story that I had not been familiar with prior. And it is fascinating. It's like the more you get into it, it's and the whole just aesthetics of it, and a lot of true crime, it gets into like, I love the occultness of it, and it's the whole aesthetics of the newspaper clippings and like the just the nature of the story is so weird. Like, and then the fact that it was connected to the drug trade, and it just goes on and on. Like we just tipped the iceberg in our lyrics. It's very
this is what I was. This is right. This is exactly right. I was going to mention they thought they were invisible. Also, that was another reason they got caught, because they can't see us. We're invisible, and that was part of the whole African ritual kind of thing. that was kind of part of the deal. They're like, yeah, we're not gonna get caught because they can't see us.
Let me answer Teddy Tommy's question. Is that a picture disc or turntable mat? It's actually neither. It's a lenticular effect, which is it's hard to see in the camera here because of the glare, but it's like it's like like in the 90s or just whatever, like those things that like they've got like the plastic, and then when you turn it, it changes the image, but depending on what the angle you look at it is. That's what it's one of those, and it's like directly on the vinyl. So when you look at it it gives you a 3D effect. It's like as you turn it, it gives you different perspectives as if the thing you're looking at is like in 3 dimensions. It's very hard. I'll try to do a video of it, maybe with different lighting, to see if I can capture it on video and make a post of it as a part of the announcement for the Bandcamp Friday. But yeah, it's not a playable surface. You cannot use your needle on it. It's just for looking at, and it is basically it's done with like very small, like there's like beveled edges with different images on the edge. So when you turn it, it changes what it looks like. How it actually works. But it's called a lenticular effect. I didn't know that before this release. I was just like, oh yeah, it's like the cover of Screamers, or whatever that movie was, the Frighteners. That's what it was. You're like, whatever, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I remember that it's like a ghost that comes out. It's like something like a hand that comes out of the grave. It was used a lot on horror VHSs and stuff. And, it looks cool.
Was that might be similar to, if you're older, I don't know if they still make them, but like 7-Elevens or whatever, they used to sell these promotional 44-ounce cups. And they would have
they might have had
similar,
like a little mini lenticular
something like that. Yeah, every time you turn it.
Like, it's like as you turn it, the image changes because there's lots of little, like basically like triangular shaped, pieces of plastic with different slits of the image on it. So as you turn it, it changes it. It's a cool, like just old school kitschy thing. And Lucas's idea, it's a very cool idea. I've never seen a record like this in my life. So if you're a collector and you like weird records, there you go.
Hell yeah. Well, cool. Well, we're going to wind it down. So we're going to promote the hell out of this fucking record again. Go buy it. You want to show what you got again one last time?
Yeah.
So they can go to the Bandcamp Friday.
Yeah. So let's see how well this can look in the camera. Let's see if I can get there. You can't really see it. Oh, it's weird. You can't really see it. But anyway, lenticular effect, then die cut front cover. There's the back.
Nice.
There's the record, and then the other side's just normal playable record. And then you also get this little lyric sheet comes in there. So yeah,
so
there's a bunch of other cool stuff available. Like I said, the Kiss split in 4 colors, leather patches. I'm gonna have more Worm Ritual LPs up. I'm gonna have some shirts, bunch of things that aren't up there now.
All right. So everyone that's listening to this on live or on the replay, go buy that shit and support. NEKROFILTH is back. God damn it. I know you have kind of been, due to many reasons, but that time's over. Now NEKROFILTH is back kicking ass. If you want them to play at your show, I'm sure, play in your town, then pay the money to get them to your town. But, it's that simple. Hey, guys, play with it. Well, get somebody to fucking fly us down there or whatever, and we'll go, It's that simple.
What Francisco said, we'll be there.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to break even.
That's all it takes. Yep. So, but yeah, go buy that shit. Zack, thanks again, man. It's cool. I know we text every now and then, but it was cool catching up with you. I know
great catching up. And that thing that we didn't talk about, we got to do that project.
Yeah, we still got to do that. And that involves Matt Putrid also.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it does. I mean, he did the logo.
Yeah. Come back to Houston. Get somebody to bring him down, dude. What did I just say?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not driving. It's pretty far.
Yeah, exactly. Portland. Yeah, you're not in Denver anymore. Well, Denver was what, 20-hour drive?
It was a drive, yeah. Because I would say it was probably about 20 hours to get to Houston because you had to go through it. Like Albuquerque would be even less than halfway. Fucking Texas is huge.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
So go to the NEKROFILTH.com. You're gonna go right here. You're gonna go there, and it's gonna take you to the Bandcamp. Look at that, NEKROFILTH.com. I'm doing all the work here for you. So fucking go to that. Go there, buy some stuff. You heard that Narco Satanist song? Everybody said, yeah, this song. I saw your comments. This kicks ass. So buy something, support.
Thanks, everyone. Sorry I didn't see your comments until much later, but
an hour into the show. I totally forgot to mention that to you.
Yeah, I just didn't notice. But yeah, thanks everybody, and this is super fun. So
yeah, man.
Catch you on the flip. Hopefully see you in Atlanta.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's it. That's it from here. We're going to play the outro tune, and we're going to get the fuck out of here. So, again, thanks again, dude. We didn't even get to talk about the guitars on the wall, but we'll do it another time.
Sure. So, that's a flying V2.
Yeah.
That's a Greco flying V.
There you go.
That's Greco. That's Gibson.
Cool. All right. Later.
Yeah,